$750,000 out of debt.
$750,000 worth of debt canceled. Amen. Supernatural debt cancellation.
Coming to you from one of the most resourceful, independent, and badass generations of all time. Welcome to the Gen X Brothers Podcast. Join Erik and Glenn, two half-brothers that make up one hell of a show.
Hey, what's up, my personal Jesus freaks?
What's up,
How you doing out there?
JZJ.
Welcome to the Gen X Brothers Podcast.
What up?
Let me introduce my co-host, Mr. E.D. Fulmer.
Yes.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up
How's
with
it
Jesus?
going out there?
What's up, Jesus J? No.
So are you a big Depeche Mode fan, Erik? Or I know you, you're a big Depeche Mode fan.
Right? You know what really made me a bigger fan was when I got to see him in concert for the first time at the Forum in L.A. You know, my ex-wife, she had tickets, and she was a bigger fan, and I always liked him. It just wasn't. Yeah,
I liked him. I'm just not like a freak fan or anything like that. But
I think, I really got into him when I heard the greatest hits CD that came out around in maybe late '90s. It had like the blue cover with the little black sign on or whatever. So I think it's Depeche. It's a double CD, and I was able to listen to their transition from the early '80s until and I think that area where they got into like a real kind of dark gothic-y sound. That's what I really liked a lot. Like In Your Room, songs like that, Yeah. Like,
I really like that when they got into that electronica stage.
And I think it was, what's the other album? They got the Violator. Is it the one that...
But anyway, so Andy Fletcher, obviously very sad news that he died at age 60.
Yeah. Now, which one is he? He was a keyboard player, right? Or
he was the keyboard player, yeah.
Okay.
So,
he's the guy with the glasses, like the kind of the nerdy looking guy or whatever.
So you have the main singer, which is
Dave Gahan. Yeah.
Dave Gahan, and then you have the guy that wrote all the music, the guitar player. Which one is he?
So he's a smaller guy. I think he usually had the kind of blondish, kind of curly hair, and I think he even does some vocals too. Like he's got the more high voice, where Dave Gahan does the low voice.
But then obviously the keyboard player was Andy. But it's weird, 60 years old. I mean, they didn't say what he passed away from. Again, it's one of those things because we're almost 60, here coming up. And it's like if you find out that he died of drug overdose, then you're like, oh, okay. Whew, okay, that was his own fault, But when you find out it's like natural causes, you're kind of like, oh, shit, man, fucking 60, man. We're right around the corner.
Yeah, and being 53 going on 54, I do have my moments where I think of when you think about mortality or whatever. And sometimes I even ask myself, do you think you'll make it to 60? I don't know, man.
It's like I always base it off of our parents because my dad died recently in his 70s. And then mommy died in her 70s.
Yeah, my dad died.
So then I think, well, if those two people who smoke and drank all the time, like mommy just smoked all the time, my dad, did drugs earlier on and drank and smoked and stuff. Not crazy, but, and he was disabled. So it's like, I should have at least until I'm 70, that's what I think.
And my dad was 47. I didn't even realize until I found out later he was only 47 when he passed.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true, huh? He was pretty
young. But when you're a kid and you see these, you see them in their 40s and 50s, you think they're old people already. Like, you already... like you don't think.
But it's weird. Like grandma, when we were around grandma, she was like 55 around that time.
Yeah, but she just seemed like grandma. She just seemed.
Yeah, she seemed like 70 or 80. Like it was weird. Like now I see people that are 55, and you're like, what?
Yeah, because even like what is it with grandmas? They have that same hair. Like it's like Is that like a rule? Like no matter what generation you're from, the moment you become grandma, you got to have that kind of curly kind of wig. Short hair, just feathered or whatever, beehive-ish looking.
Maybe there's a special grandma wig that they all wear,
And how old were these two guys when they died? Anonymous and dead from me.
Yeah, we're already dead, according to them.
There's a great shirt from Alan Frost, the artist I was telling you about that does those action figures. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Yeah. He does like these cool shirts.
Erik and his walking billboard again.
Yep. Walking commodities. Melina, gotcha.
But it seems, again, it seems weird, especially this week because of all the death that surrounded us with the mass shootings. You have Andy and then Ray Liotta, which, I loved as an actor. Died at 67, though, because I think if you make it past, 65, you're kind of like, okay.
Last time I saw Ray Liotta in something, he was in that TV show with Jennifer Lopez, which I liked. It was called something... something blue or whatever, but it was like a really good,
I think okay.
Yeah, it was a really cool cop show. Like, very, he's a corrupt police officer and everything. And I thought it was going to be a show that would last longer than 3 seasons or whatever, because it was really good. And he was really cool in that. And he seemed like he kind of always looked to me like he might have maybe he's got an alcoholic problem, because he always kind of looked like he just woke up.
He always looks like he's drunk. He always looks like he's angry.
So,
he plays that same type of character, just like with a smart ass, ready to beat you in the head with a baseball bat type of attitude. And, which is cool. He does it so well. But then here we are again talking about another goddamn mass shooting. Yeah, man. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with people?
Politicians making excuses. It's mental health. And
I feel bad that we talk. I mean, obviously, we want to cover everything on this show, on the Gen X Brothers. We mostly cover music stuff, but we want to talk about everything that's happening in the world, because it affects us. It affects you guys out there in the world, and it's worth discussing. And it's kind of a bummer, but I mean, shit. It's also a bummer that these fucking kids had to die for no reason.
Yeah. You get sick of hearing the same thing after every mass shooting. Well, he did this and did that before this. He posted this online, or he sent a message to so and so, and like all these like warning signs, or just like, and people are just not taking it serious. Well, it's his freedom of speech, and he was making threats. That's his freedom. Stop with that fucking freedom of speech shit, and telling us like, don't politicize it. Guns have been politicized since the NRA started donating to the politicians. They
don't mind politicizing when it helps their goal.
I think I think that's the problem, is we don't politicize it enough. That's the reason why they keep sitting on their ass, and it's up to these Republicans and Democrats to come together.
Everything we do is politicized, whether it's welfare, whether it's guns, whether it's abortion, no matter what it is, it's politicized, because our politicians are there for human rights. That's what they're assigned to do. That's what we hire them for. Yeah. So if there's an issue where children are dying, whether it's cancer or whether it's gunfire, we need to talk about it. And
I'm really pissed when I find out today. Did you hear that? That you find out about those cops? Like, they were barricaded. They could have busted into that door, but they were just sitting out there in the hallway for almost an hour. What the fuck? Who's training these fucking cops to be pussies, man? It's like,
well, that's what okay, this is what really pisses me off, and I might go off on a tangent here. Okay, this is what I hear every fucking time something happens. Whenever there's a shooting somewhere else, what do you hear? Texas, we're the baddest motherfuckers in the country. Yeah. We're the baddest state. We got all the guns. If any motherfucker comes to Texas, we're gonna shoot your fucking ass down.
And look what they did.
Now, where the fuck were these cops? Now that it's Texas, where the fuck were they at? Those coward-ass motherfuckers. You know what? Texas is now the pussy state. And I don't give a shit who comes after me for that word. Yeah. But don't fucking complain about New York. Don't complain about New Hampshire or California or the East Coast or the West Coast. Because Texas, you had your chance to prove yourself, and you fucking failed. Yep. You failed like a little fucking bitch.
Yep.
The people of Texas should leave that fucking shit-ass state and move to a different state that cares about you. Yeah. Not somebody who only gives a shit about guns and covering their own ass when the cops don't do their own fucking job.
Yeah, it's like, and I've been seeing that a lot when these cops are involved in these shootings. It's like, they're scared to take a hit. And it's like, imagine if our military was that way. Imagine like if we were invaded by Russia and the military was like, I ain't going to go in, you go in. I ain't going to fuck with it. It's like, come on, man.
Don't be a fucking cop,
what did you sign up for? Listen, you put your life on the line.
I understand the fear that goes behind it. Listen, I would not be able to do it. I mean, if I was faced with a life or death situation, of course I would protect myself.
That's why we didn't try out for the cop.
You're a cop. I'm not.
Yeah.
And you're fucking from Texas.
Yeah.
Don't say how fucking badass Texas is all the time, that Texas is full of a bunch of gun-toting badass motherfuckers that doesn't put up with any shit, when you're a fucking coward, when you can't even go in there and face one guy.
Yeah.
I mean, how hard would it have been to start shooting through a window to get his attention, to distract him from the children? How hard would it be to have a team, somebody doing something, not just people sitting on their ass and waiting around?
Yeah.
Well, what do we do? He's shooting at us.
Especially when they had
fucking knock down the door and then you jump out of the way.
Especially when they had those moments of silence, and that would have been an opportunity to bust in there, because he could have been loading his gun, he could have been out of ammo, and they were still just sitting out that door. And then even with gunshots going, they still sat out there.
Getting in there, and even a lot of those kids,
and there were 19
if they
cops.
were shot, they could have been just bleeding out. They could have been saved. Half of them probably could have been saved.
Exactly.
if they would have acted faster. But no, you think a kid's going to survive after he's shot if he's laying there for a fucking hour?
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with
these people? And then
man?
Was the chief, he said something about like, oh, well, when there's a mass shooting and things get crazy, the rules have to go out there or something about the rules, whatever, get changed or whatever on the spot. Like, in other words, well,
you have to improvise.
Yeah, you have to improvise. Well, these cops were sitting there for an hour outside this door that they could have busted in. Like, how much time do you need to improvise, you know? And it's just fucking... Like,
even the parents, like were saying, let me go in. Give me a vest. Give me a gun. I'll go in there and shoot it down.
It was pretty hard video to watch, all those parents outside freaking out. The cops are trying to push him back when it's like they were trying to get in there to fucking... They knew what was going on, but, you know, obviously those cops and then what did it take? It was the border patrol guy that shot the guy finally. Got it. Like, I don't understand how that happened. Like, did the border patrol come in and get in front of those guys that were stalling at the door and get in there finally or something?
Because maybe border patrol is part of the SWAT team type of thing because they're better trained and like obviously I get it's a small town.
Yeah.
You're not going to have very many resources, but somebody needs to act heroic in that type of situation.
Oh, you know, every time.
And even if you were to like get a stick, like in my brain, even if I don't want to get shot, I would get a long stick and bang on the door.
Yeah.
So that way he's shooting at the door. If he's shooting at the door, he's not shooting at other people, you know, take it to the back or something, you know, distract him.
And I'm so sick of them here saying, well, we got to arm the teachers. You can't even afford. You can't even afford school supplies.
They can't even have books.
Yeah, how you gonna arm every teacher in America? Train them how to use a gun and all this stuff. And why would a kid want to go to school and have to sit there and look at a teacher with a freaking gun? And teachers can become unhinged as well. Imagine a teacher get bugged or bullied by one of their students, and she decides to fucking snap and then shoot.
There was a teacher here who recently was raped or attempted to be raped by one of her high school students. And obviously, if she had a gun, she probably would have shot him, or he probably would have got the gun away from her and shot her.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, you know, you're going to put a gun in a bad situation. You don't do that with somebody who isn't trained.
Yeah.
What we should do is just train everyone in America how to use a fucking gun before you're allowed to have one.
Exactly. That's how it should be, you know?
It's that simple. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
If you are allowed to drive a car, you have to have a driver's license. You have to take a test. You have to take a driving test.
Yes.
You have to pay for that privilege. And it's not free. It's not like we go, hey, here's driver's license, everybody. No, you as an individual citizen have to pay for a driver's license. You have to pay to take the test. You have to pay for that. So if you have a gun, if you want a gun, then how hard is it to say you have to pay to take a safety test? You have to pay to take a training course on how to shoot the gun.
And how is that infringing on the Second Amendment rights of all Americans when it's like, it's just, you know, it's just what the NRA and all those people want to bullshit with you. You know, cars kill people. And the reason why cars kill people is if they're driven irresponsibly, just like guns kill people if they're used irresponsibly. And that's what we're dealing with people that are dealing with shit. Imagine if you got in your car and you're just able to drive through stoplights and drive 90 miles an hour in the school zone. You know, they put school signs up. No one's complaining about infringing on their rights for that. Like, I'm not allowed to drive 90 miles per hour. How dare you? You know, it's just like... Come on, people.
But I would imagine the NRA loves situations like this because, you know, whenever there's a threat against gun rights, gun sales go through the roof. So every time they think that their automatic weapons or whatever they are, assault rifles, are going to be taken away, everyone goes out and buys them. So they love this shit, man. The NRA is a fucking bunch of coldless pieces of shit. They shouldn't. I don't even know what the fuck they do. What is the point of the NRA? They just get around and fucking jerk each other's guns off?
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck's the point of it?
And if the politicians would show the exact passion that us, like on podcasts and in social media and all the posts that we do on Facebook, all the ideas everyone's coming up with and debating and fighting over, if the politicians in D.C. would actually show that same passion, they would probably get something done. Unfortunately, us guys like us, our hands are tied. All we can do is bitch and complain and debate and talk about it. Well, here's what we should do. Like, I think maybe every class should have a panic room that person can't get into. That would be cheaper than arming every teacher and training them. Put a panic room in there. Make the freaking classroom a panic room and give them some sunlight at least, you know, and then freaking where nobody can just come in there and have an escape hatch or something somewhere. Heck, if get El Chapo to build tunnels or something under the classroom, Yeah. Fuck, put his ass to work.
Escape traps.
Yeah.
Escape.
Come on, El Chapo, build us some tunnels in this classroom, man.
We'll let you off free. Yeah, we'll let you out of jail if you agree. Because, hey, we'd rather have drugs than children being killed.
We're going to put your freaking talent to use, bitch.
I mean, come on. It's just.
But I want to call out those motherfucking cops in Texas. You're a bunch of bitches, man. Yeah, fucking little bitches.
I'm sorry. That's just.
And whoever trained you,
admit that you were wrong.
And whoever trained you is a bigger fucking bitch.
Amen.
Yeah.
And I don't even believe in God.
Yeah. Because you're supposed to sign up you're signing up to put your life on the line to save people. That means
that's why we pay you money.
That means you're going into the line of fire to save people like me and like those children and like Glenn.
If you're a firefighter, if you're a policeman, if you're not willing to put your life at risk, don't be one. And that's cool, man. I would never be one. Listen, I'm a coward. Yeah. I'll be the first one to admit it. Yeah. I wouldn't do that shit.
When I was a little kid, I thought I'd like to be a policeman one day. But then I got a little bit older and I thought, you know what? Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
I don't got the balls for it, But when you're a little kid playing cops and robbers, you want to be a cop when you grow up, or you want to be a doctor, you want to be a firefighter. But then you get older and you.
Or maybe they should do this. Maybe they should have. Okay, there's two things I think they should do. Just like we have sex education and we have driver's education in school, maybe we should have gun training in school. Not just about how to hide from a gun, but actually teach kids about guns. Like show them that this is a weapon. Like when I was little, my dad had a gun. My whole family's gun-toting hunters and shit.
Yep.
But my dad, from a very early age, said, hey, this is a gun. It will kill you. You do not touch this weapon. It is a weapon. It will harm you. And that stuck in my head. So I always thought, hey, this is something that will hurt somebody, so I shouldn't mess around with it, or I shouldn't take it lightly, Just like with drug use or anything else, that people need to be educated.
There was a time in the 50s, they always say in the 50s, kids used to bring their rifles to school and just, it was part of what they did. They would load up and bring their guns to school, show them off to their friends, because they went hunting a lot and nobody got killed.
They still do back in the woods and shit, probably in Montana.
Yeah, where it's like,
still do.
It's crazy. And it's just like,
I'll tell you what, though, there was this one time that I don't know if I was going to be a victim of a mass shooting or any type of gun violence for that matter. But a few years ago when I was in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, where I am.
It was right after, I'm going to see if I could tell this story correctly because it's a weird story. Right after there was a mass shooting, so I was paranoid as it was. Yeah, after you see one of those, you kind of look over your shoulder and you kind of just go, oh, fuck, what? But we went out to eat, right? Mm-hmm. We went to, I think it was Taco Del Mar. It was like a burrito place.
Yeah.
My son was with us. He was pretty young at that point. He was probably, 10, 12, somewhere around there. I don't remember the exact year. But so we went into the restaurant. I bought him chicken nuggets beforehand. So he sat down in the middle of the restaurant, right? So we went to go order. This is in Portland when it's 100 degrees outside. 100 degrees in Portland is like 120 degrees everywhere else because of the humidity. Yeah. So it's fucking hot. So we go in there and we start to order, and there's a couple people ahead of us, but nobody else is in the restaurant. So a guy walks in, and this guy is wearing a trench coat. And this is one of those long, and again, this is the middle of summer. It's 100 degrees outside, and it doesn't just look like a trench coat. It looks bulky. Like it's like it goes out.
Yeah.
You can see. And so I was like, I immediately saw that and I was, oh shit. I looked over my shoulder and I was trying to be as cool as possible because I don't want to be a dumbass and be like, hey, shooter. And it's just some guy. So I was glancing back behind my shoulder as my wife was ordering her food. Mm-hmm. And as I see, the jacket is almost brand new, like it's perfectly clean.
Yeah.
But then if you looked underneath his pants, below his knees is pretty much how far the jacket went down, was completely dirty. And you saw that he was dirty. And you saw that there was, you could just see, I've been around mental people before, and you can see they have that weird look in their eye, like there's not something quite there altogether.
Yeah.
So once I noticed this, I step behind my wife as she's ordering. She's looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you standing behind me? So obviously if something happened, she would be protected. But she didn't know what was going on. I could tell. And I was just, again, maybe I was being paranoid. Maybe I wasn't.
Yeah.
The guy is looking straight ahead. And I get my food, right? As he's kind of just standing there. He doesn't get in line like behind us. You know how you go to the side to kind of work your way around. So no, he's just standing. And G2, my son, is exactly right behind him, in the table behind him. And he's just standing there, like not even really looking at the menu. He's just standing there. And again, he's a full trench coat. It looked like there was something underneath.
Yeah.
So as I go, I walk to the right to get my food, and he turns to follow me. Like he doesn't move, he just turns. And so as I'm getting the drink or whatever, I'm off to the side getting the drink, and I see him following. I'm trying to watch him through my side vision. I'm trying not to be cool, but obviously he noticed that I was staring at him.
Yeah.
And then I turn around and I go towards G2 because G2's table is right behind him. So I have to go right past him. So I get him, and it's like an old Western standoff. The guy is standing just perfectly as if he was ready to draw a gun. Like, you know, like in old Western days. Like he's fucking staring at me perfectly fucking there. And I'm like, oh shit. And I'm thinking of every way I can throw the drink at him. And there was a chair like right to the side. I said, if I get that chair, I can fucking jab him right in the head with it. So I'm thinking of all these things to do. And I just kind of freeze for a second, and he's just staring right at me. Just like fucking right at me, like he's like. And if he would have went for that jacket, I would have had no other choice but to dive at him. Even if there wasn't a gun, I would have fucking dove at him, which would have been funny as hell.
Yeah, you would have made the headlines. But here's a hero that did nothing.
Yeah, but if he didn't have a gun, I'd be the dipshit that tackled somebody for no reason,
dipshit, didn't
and I'd get sued.
Yeah.
So as he's staring at me, so the only logical thing I thought of was. Because it seemed like he wanted me to egg him on. It almost seemed like he was like, okay, he wanted me to say, you got a problem? What's up, motherfucker?
Yeah.
Like, that's the way he was looking at me, because I've been around assholes like that before.
Yeah. Did you look homeless or anything?
So I walked in his direction, and I immediately go, oh, hey, how you doing? So I did a different approach. I figured I would be nice, and I'd say, oh, hey, how you doing? But my brain was still thinking, if you move 1 inch, motherfucker, I'm tackling your ass. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And he looked at me, and it like almost broke his concentration, and his eyes went like, it was like a weird thing. His eyes like turned to the side, and then like he kind of shook his head as if it was like I don't know, because you know how sometimes those type of people, they're playing the scenario over and over and over in their head,
like a movie.
And if it goes exactly how they want, then they execute the plan that they had. But if it doesn't, they don't know how to handle that. In other words, it throws them off.
Yeah.
So by me being nice to him and just saying, hey, how you doing? It almost threw him out of that mindset. And then he was still staring at me, but then I sat down right next to him, and I pushed the chair right in like between me and him. Cause I was like, literally at this point, I was like at arm's length.
Yeah.
And then from there, he turned around, and then he went up to the counter to go order. But at this time, I'm still staring at him. I'm still making sure.
Yeah.
But at that point, as soon as he turned my back on me and he went up to the counter to order, I just took my food, and Soshi and I, we just said, okay, let's get the fuck out. I said, we need to leave now.
Yeah.
And she was like, what? Oh, that guy, like she kind of knew there was something going on at that point.
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, we need to leave now. And then we just got the fuck out of there. So,
and then nothing happened.
I didn't hear about any shooting after that, but still, I mean, that was a fucking trip. I mean, it was definitely, he was a homeless guy or something, or mentally ill guy.
That's what I was wondering, like, did he look homeless, or was it like, because you said his jacket was kind of new?
Well, that's why it was hard to tell, because the jacket looked new, but his pants didn't.
Yeah.
So it was, and the jacket was buttoned all the way up.
Yeah.
And he looked a little scruffy. He didn't look too homeless in the face. He just looked crazy. Like he looked like he, was missing a few screws.
Yeah. I wonder what is Oregon's mass shooting record. I mean, I haven't really heard nothing other than, wasn't there like a school about 10 years ago that was shot up?
No, there was at a mall. It was at the mall in Happy Valley. An Asian guy had shot a bunch of people in the food court. I remember that.
Oh, and I like Tommy Loren on Twitter, like last week when that mass shooter in Buffalo, she's like, oh, the media only reports about white people shooting. What about that Asian guy in California? Okay, well, look at what happened in Texas. This guy's Hispanic, and he's all over the news.
Yeah.
So that blew that little conspiracy.
What did they try to make some weird race thing about it, man?
What is it? Like they got to defend white supremacy or something. It's
like they have to do everything they can to defend whatever somebody told them to defend. Like they don't even know why they're defending it. They don't even know. They're fucking sheep. That's the bottom line. They're just doing what they're told.
You know, and I see like a lot of them, like Judge Jeanine Pirro, Tommy Loren, and a few other these Republican officials. They're all tweeting the same thing. Elon Musk says Democrats are playing us for fools. Do you agree? It's like the same exact text. It's like, did they all get like an email from like their master that said, here, send this tweet out? It's just like, it's funny, man.
Well, they have no mind of their own. They don't handle that shit. I think every tweet by every Republican is handled by like, there's like a secret layer of people that fucking just type shit that they're told what to do. And who's in that basement is probably, what's that one guy, fucking Brennan?
Yeah. I tweeted back, I said, you do know that Elon's playing us all for a fool, that he goofs on you people too, man.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit one way or the other, man.
He doesn't give he was just making fun of Donald Trump 2 weeks ago before he said he was going to go Republican or whatever.
Like the guy owns like 20 businesses. He's probably so busy. He probably doesn't have time, but 1 hour out of the day, he does it just to fuck with people. He's like, what can I do just to fuck with people as entertainment for me? He doesn't drink. He probably doesn't party or anything. He's like, my entertainment is fucking with all these people because I can, That's Elon Musk in a nutshell.
Exactly.
But it is sad. I mean, you got to joke around about this shit at some point. But God damn it, man. It's just.
I hate to say it, but I think we're gonna have another mass shooting before the weekend's done.
Yeah, it's not gonna change at all. And listen, I'm pretty sure these mass shootings happen all the time. They just don't report on them until something big happens. And now that this one happened, anyone that's just like two or more people is going to be reported.
According to the data, this is like the 30th school shooting this year alone.
Yeah,
it's
ridiculous.
But then there's like been 277 mass shootings so far, since May or since the beginning of the year. And it's only
So you're telling me that's not a gun problem?
I know, right?
It may be a mental health problem and a gun problem.
That's why
it can be both.
People act like they can't chew gum and walk at the same time. It's like, come on, you got to handle both. I mean, there should be a red flag. There should be somebody that gets a psych evaluation. If they say, I do have thoughts of harming people sometimes. Well, then that needs to go in some kind of database. So that way, if that person decides to go buy a gun, that should pop up and you take that gun
denied.
away.
Yeah.
Because if you're a felon and let's say you commit a domestic violence or whatever, or an assault, you're banned from buying weapons or anything for the rest of your life. You get out of prison. Even if you did your prison time, you can't have any firearms. So why can't, how come this kid that could go on social media and get radicalized by white supremacy and walk in and buy a gun, or why could this other kid in Texas, a fucking AR-15? It's so stupid, man.
Well, the other thing I think that we should do to try to fix this problem, and they would make a lot of money off of this idea, is you should find a way to make the trigger, right? The mechanism on the trigger, put a Bluetooth, a GPS, something in there to where it only works, right? If you're the owner, or what you could do is if you can find a way to lock that trigger, we can lock all kinds of things with satellites and all this shit.
You can lock cars, right?
So if you can lock that trigger, right? So when you go to like either a mall or a school, they would have like a beacon.
Yeah.
That would say when that gun gets close to that area, it would automatically lock and you can't fire it. If you're out hunting, it would be fine. But if you get close to a public place that doesn't allow guns, like a mall, a school, whatever it is, that trigger would automatically lock. And you're telling me they can't create something like that? You would make $1 billion off of that idea. The gun companies would make $1 billion, forcing everyone to install that new trigger into every gun in this country.
That's very true. And they say, well, what about the good guys with the gun? And they couldn't use their gun, and the bad guy didn't have.
No, police would have a different set of rules. They wouldn't have the chip.
Exactly.
Any police officer, you would, and if you wanted to not have that rule, like let's say you didn't want that in your trigger, then you would have to take a special class. You would have to, just like you have to have a concealed carry license in order to carry a concealed weapon, you would have to be mentally stable, and then you would be somebody that would be one of the good guys. There's nothing wrong with rewarding the good guys to have guns.
And there are like a lot of red flag laws, I would imagine, a lot of states already in place, but what's the point of them if they're not going to enforce them? Did you see I don't know if it was, I'm pretty sure it was real. The NRA posts their rules of before you enter the what's happening today, their little convention or their little gathering.
There's no guns.
Yeah, no guns allowed, and you got to leave them at home because there's not even a safe there for you to put your guns into. It's just like so it just goes to show where their priorities are at.
I think that's because Donald Trump was speaking or something. Because the president, obviously, whenever there's a president, you're not allowed to have any weapons, which you understand. But it's just funny how stupid they are.
Just protect Trump and this is fuck the kids, man.
Yeah.
Fuck everybody else.
Why don't you put that in? Why don't you put a sign in front of every school? No guns allowed.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll stop them.
Exactly.
You dumbasses.
Okay.
Well, why don't you make the gun companies pay for all these guards and training for all these teachers and shit?
That's their bright idea. Because if you notice, like Ted Cruz was saying, everything that the Democrats are coming up with is not going to be it won't work. It's like, well, what are you coming up with? Like, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Why they don't want it. Why aren't you guys coming up with anything? And whatever you do come up with is something about like, oh God, and you can't fight evil. But the last time I checked, the DSM-5 doesn't have evil in there as there's no code for evil or whatever. Yeah. No, it's a psychological, it's a mental health issue. It's not evil. There's someone was tweeting the other day like, we need more prayer in school. We need more God in school. Like that was like that would have saved
another fucking like that's not political. You're throwing your fucking religion in there isn't political.
Yeah.
Oh my
Let's pray
God.
the mass shooter away. Yeah. That's crazy.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Mass shootings.
So let's turn to something better because this is fucking depressing. And, we said our piece, we said our little shit to maybe get us popular or whatever because we're all whores to the fucking media. That's all it is. Even if I say my honest opinion, it doesn't fucking matter.
And rest in peace, all those
if people
children.
Listen, they listen. They don't, they don't.
Rest in peace, those children, those two teachers. Rest in peace.
Motherfucker. But so I figured we would do something a little bit different today, Eric. We're going to do something we're going to call hit or miss.
Hit or miss. What?
Hit or miss, right?
Hit.
There's a website called newreleasesnow.com, which is kind of a cool site. Wherever there's new releases, you can kind of go on there and see. But they have a metal section, music section. I want to see if they know what metal music is. I figure we'll go on there, we'll watch a few of the videos, listen to some of the songs, and either it's a hit, either it's a metal, or it's a miss, and it shouldn't be on there. It shouldn't be in the metal section.
They probably got Nickelback, Five Finger Death Punch.
Then it's all fail. But I figure we'll check it out. So first off, we got Motor Sister. Have you ever heard of Motor Sister?
I've heard of them. I think I might have seen something with them. Oh, that's Motor Sister. That's the band that has Scotty Ian and Meatloaf's daughter because they're married, and I believe some other. It's kind of like a super group. That's who I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And I heard one of their songs a while back. It was all right. What's this one?
So this is what is this? Can't Get High Enough, the official video.
I don't think I've ever seen
from Motor Sister. It just came out last month, I think it was, or earlier this month.
Motor Sister. It's like Twisted Sister mixed with Motorhead.
So Get Off spearheads a whole new, exciting, and long-awaited chapter in the history of Motor Sister, a supergroup made with Anthrax, Armored Saint, White Zombie, and Mother Superior.
Who's in there from Armored Saint? Oh yeah, Joey Vera, I think. Right?
Yeah, Joey Vera.
Yeah, bass player.
It's right there. Okay. All right, so this better be metal.
Yeah.
Shit, let's check this shit out, man.
I think anything with Scotty in it is going to be cool.
Here we go.
Whiskey.
Got that beat. Oh yeah, it's at the whiskey.
Yeah, it's a little stomping ground. There's Joey Vera. Got Ian. Meatloaf stuff. I think her name is Betty Meatloaf. That's good. I don't know.
Betty Meatloaf.
Making it up. Whatever Meatloaf's real name is, I guess.
Now, would you consider this metal? Because this seems more blues to me, right?
I'd say it's like more like really hard rock. I guess you could say. I wouldn't say metal.
Blues rock.
Definitely like that. It's good, hard, solid rock, metal, like hard rock, I guess you could say. If you were to put a label to it.
It's got a good solid. I mean, you could just tell the professionals. I mean,
Yeah. Good. It's definitely something you'd play, you're driving down the street in your nice car and you just want some music to blast. It's got a good bass line. I think it's like breath of fresh air for Scotty Ian, who's normally playing the thrash stuff.
Yeah.
You can tell he's having a good time with it.
All right. So yeah, I mean, I would call that, I don't know if I would call it metal. Again, we're in the metal section.
Yeah.
I would call it more blues rock.
Yeah, it's blues rock. Metal could, it all depends on metal could be just, I think sometimes people think metal is, if there's distortion on a guitar, it's metal. If it's a.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I mean, because of the members, it's called metal more than because of the music.
Because of Anthrax. So if you think about in the 80s and stuff like that, like the bands that were metal then are now considered hard rock, like Queensryche or like someone like Rat or something. But I always tell people, it's like, well, you know what? If they were in if you go to a record store and they were in the metal section, then there was metal. Of course, there's going to be more heavier stuff that comes along. Because that's just metal evolving. And so this would be compared to like, say, Anthrax. This would definitely be like more like bluesy rock, hard rock, which is good. Would it be? I always like to judge it. Is it something I would go buy on vinyl or CD? Maybe not. Probably more likely not. This is definitely something I would probably just jam.
But based off of this test right now, Eric, we're going hit or miss whether it's metal or not. So I'm gonna say it's a miss as far as metal.
As far as metal,
I would call it hard rock. I would call it blues rock. But for me, I would say it's a miss as far as metal.
Yeah, for it being metal, it's a miss. It's definitely in the wrong little section there as far as this website goes. Who's controlling the website? Okay, Halestorm.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna fucking cuss them out.
Halestorm is like a band that a lot of people love. Halestorm, a lot of people, I'd never really listened. I know Lizzie Hale's a really great singer. I like what she did some cool stuff with Tom Kiefer. This is that really a kind of upscale metal that. So
have you heard them before? I've
heard little pieces of them, and I just know that Lizzie Hale is a singer, but I know they're really well respected in the metal world. A lot of new metal fans like them a lot, and I just never really got in. I just never had a chance to really get in and listen to them. It's not that I don't like them. They were one of those bands you'll see them on YouTube. I just kind of pass them up or whatever. But I do know I hear her voice on some other things, like when she was singing with Tom Kiefer. And she's got an amazing voice.
Well, it says here that Halestorm, this album was produced by Foo Fighters, Mastodon, Alice in Chains. Yeah, so obviously it's got some heavy hitters.
Yeah, and they're up there. They play all the big festivals. They sell out arenas and things like that. They're on a big tour right now with I know The Warning, that band, The Warning. I like. They were on tour with them.
So let's check this out.
I might, maybe I'll get into them after seeing this.
So this is The Steeple by Halestorm. Let's see what we got. Got a heavy sound.
Yeah. It looks different than what I remember.
This looks like a religious thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
See, I mean, I'm sorry, but if you took away that heavy guitar and the drums, this would be a country song, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely country pop metal, I guess you could say. That's what.
This is a country song. This ain't metal.
And I think that's the reason why. I think that's the reason why I kind of get turned off with bands like this that everyone hypes up so much, and because I see them more like hipster metal in the sense, like to me, like this is like the guy who's a lawyer. I remember we used to hang out with these people in LA, and they were like lawyers and doctors and stuff, and we go to Bar Sinister. And they'd be all in their chaps and on their motorcycles, and it's just like, and they're in their 60s, and I'm thinking like, okay, so it's kind of like hipster metal in a sense, or hipster rock.
Yeah, they're trying to like be cool and with safe music. I mean, this is
very safe. Like you go to one of those upscale bars where there's the drafted, the beer, the high end beer, people drink, and you got Halestorm in the background, and you got Motor Sister in the background playing, and
you're wearing your leather jacket.
You got your leather jacket,
the Fonzie and shit.
Then you go home, you wake up at 6 a.m. to go to your freaking like lawyer job or whatever. So that's the kind of metal I think this is. It's cool, I guess.
Metal, short-haired metal dudes. That's what this is.
The damn top of the line equipment. That's how I see that.
I'm sorry, this is country. No, to me, this is country. This is straight up fucking country music. If you took away that heavy guitar and put an acoustic guitar in their hand, it would be a country. That's a country lyric. The lyrics are country because the Steeple, it's all religious.
Yeah, it sounds like they probably Christian, Christian metal or Christian rock, but without not like being Striper where they're actually open about it,
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, but they're very like, I don't know what the fuck you want to call it, but they're certainly not metal to me.
Yeah, there's nothing I would buy their album or nothing like that. It's just like, I respect them. I respect the talent.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's a
respect the talent, respect what they're doing.
No, I mean listen, they're good musicians. We're not questioning that. We're questioning whether it's metal and whether it should be in a metal section.
Yeah, it's definitely a miss.
I'm sorry.
It's definitely a miss. We're two misses.
Two misses in a row
so
far.
We love you, Scotty Ian, but we missed you on that band.
Now we got the one that I've been waiting for because I've seen this one a little bit here and there, and this is fucking Ted Nugent, man. Ted Nugent. He should be he was never really metal, was he? He was more just rock and hard rock.
Definitely always hard rock. I know there was a time in the 80s when I first got into him was that video he used to have on MTV when we got that album in the Columbia House cassettes or whatever. They had a video where he busted through the wall like it was in a cave, and there's like that chick that comes. He busted through the wall with his guitar, and he's like playing this really cool guitar solo. I can't remember the name of that song, but that's a Ted Nugent I really like, And like Wango Tango and Cat Scratch Fever, those are classic. So I can actually
but obviously he got a radio show, and he's like totally political now over the last 20 years.
I think him overall, like as a guitar player, as a musician, I could actually separate his views. I don't agree with a lot of what he says, but I could actually separate that and appreciate him as a musician.
I don't think you'll be able to do that on this song, Erik.
So I'm probably going to throw everything I just said out the door, in about 5 seconds. But for the record, I used to like what he did.
The song is called American Campfire, okay? Right. And it's by Ted Nugent. So let's check this shit out, and then we can have a good laugh. So
everybody loves the American campfire. Don't you hear it calling your name?
Oh, shit.
It's a fucking propaganda video for Trump. Look at that.
Don't you hear it calling your name? My name. Everybody loves the American.
Sounds like a joke.
Go ahead and fan the flames.
Fan the flames, man. Fuck.
Party is on. Family and friends are here. Pull up a stump and set yourself down.
There's a black guy in there. Got some natives in there at least. You got a black guy and some natives. So. Can't be two races.
He's trying to be inclusive, He's trying to include everybody.
I think he needs to just stick to hunting these days.
Everybody loves the American campfire. Don't you hear it calling your name? Your name. Erik, it's calling your name. American campfire.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like,
I love the lyrics.
And who doesn't love a campfire anyway? Like, why is he? What kind of statement is he trying to make? Has there been people?
Look how racially. Look, there's Indians dancing. Isn't that like totally insensitive to Native
how come he
Americans?
gets to do that? And you can't even wear Pocahontas at Halloween if he could do that.
Yeah. What the fuck?
So am I missing something? Were there people complaining about campfires or something that they hate campfires? Is that why he wrote this?
Well, Ted Nugent was sitting around. He was sitting around the campfire playing some songs like, you know what everybody loves? I think everybody loves the campfire.
Like, holy shit.
I'm gonna write a song about that. Oh, the Holy Bible.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. This is.
What about toasted marshmallows? People
yeah, what about s'mores, man? Where's my fucking s'mores?
You should have wrote it like that. Like, everybody loves s'mores. That's what you should have wrote. Yeah, check him out. He's jamming. Does he have at least a guitar solo in this? Hopefully.
I think we talked over it, but
it's a very bad song.
Oh my God, it's horrible.
You should have Lady Gaga right for him.
The video is even horrid too.
Oh yeah, it's on a loop of just the same footage over and over. It's just a bad commercial.
That's what I mean. It's total propaganda for Trump. He's hoping that Trump will use this in his next rally and shit.
Trump loves the village people too much to ditch out. Trump ain't gonna ditch his village people.
Oh my God, that is now listen. I don't know if it's a miss. Well, it's a miss as far as metal.
I think it's a miss all across the rock, metal, freaking pop, whatever. It's a miss.
I think it's a winner as far as good laughs.
Yeah, it's definitely a winner in the comedy department.
Ted Nugent, what happened to you, man?
Yeah, he needs to stick to honey.
Damn.
I guess It's funny, I bought a.
He's been out in them woods too long.
I bought a Jakey Lee album. I didn't know it even existed. It's a solo album. But it's just him doing covers, and he does like Running with the Devil, and he had like different singers. He had like Stephen Pearcy sing on that, and he had like Phil Lewis even singing on one song. But they're all Ted Nugent covers. I didn't even realize until after I bought it. Like, yeah, like 80% of the songs were Ted Nugent covers. It's like,
that's funny.
And I was disappointed because it wasn't Jakey Lee playing like Jakey Lee, like I was hoping, you know.
Oh, Ted, you motherfucker, Ted.
Ted, you're dead to us.
Yes.
Dead Nugent.
But I do love the American CampFire. Yeah. I don't like the Russian CampFire. I don't like the Canadian CampFire. I only love the American CampFire. I mean,
every now and then, Iraqi CampFire is okay, but, you know.
Oh, yeah. A Mexican CampFire, you know, you got some tortillas,
Al-Qaeda
you put it on there, you're
Al-Qaeda CampFire, you know.
Yeah.
ISIS CampFire, why not, you know.
Those black metal bands from Norway, they're loving the Al-Qaeda CampFire. What the fucking Ted Nugent, man? What is wrong with, like, why would you even put that out? That's just horrible. Like, who in his fucking camp didn't tell him this is a horrible idea?
The sad thing is
I'm sorry.
The sad thing is somebody, either him or somebody in his camp spent the money to do it, you know?
How could you see, even if you're one of his drone sheep that love his show and love it, you got to be looking at that and going, this is a horrible piece of shit.
I know if I was
musically,
if I was a fan, if I was a fan, that would totally make me not a fan. And I'm not a fan, so, and it's definitely not going to make me a fan. So.
That's the equivalent of trying to rewrite the Happy Birthday song. You know, it's just like, dude, you're not going to make a fucking a national anthem with that shitty song. It's just not going to happen.
No. Yeah, they got.
All right, so let's end this on a good note, Eric. A real metal band. You can't go wrong with this. Rammstein.
Yeah, I got that new album.
Fucking Rammstein is always metal. They are nothing else but. They're like the solid metal like AC/DC is. You know, like you always get the same sound from them. You always get solid. Good.
Here's my thing with Rammstein. I love him. The singer, he needs to come up with some different verses. Like, oh, Gene Dom, every verse is the same, but then he has, like a cool melodic. And he does like a cool melodic chorus that kind of saves the song. But I got this new album. It's actually pretty good. It's pretty decent.
It's like AC/DC. It's the same song over and over again, but they do it so fucking well that you're like, hey, I can listen to that for 5 hours straight.
He goes, he even throws in a.
Okay, this song is called Zick, Zack.
Everybody loves the campfire.
Yeah, let's do the Rammstein version. Everybody loves the American campfire. Campfire.
He's a weird looking dude too. He kind of looks like Herman Munster, but like he's a weird guy. He's just like I was watching the concert of them, a more recent one that might have just somebody filmed or whatever. I think because they're on tour right now, and the way he moves around on the stage is so bizarre. I definitely want to see them live if they ever come to Portland. They do all the fire and all this shit, and they really cool stage show.
Yeah, they do. Wasn't he sick with COVID? Like he almost died from COVID, like in the beginning, right? And I was like, oh shit, I hope he doesn't die. That would be a horrible thing.
What song is it? This is Zick, Zack, right? Okay, I've only seen like a little.
Zick, Zack.
I saw the very beginning of this video once. I was going to go back and watch it. I just didn't get a chance to, but I remember.
All right, let's check it out. Here we go, Rammstein. Now he's got the like fake makeup on.
Yeah,
it looks like Liberace or something.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be either a transgender or the Liberace or something.
Schöner, größer, härter.
Like it's like a play on like everybody wants to look perfect when they do their show.
That's what I got. And Zick, Zack is probably like TikTok, maybe. Like TikTok stars.
I bet you I can sing this song without ever hearing it.
Like I said, he's like Rob Zombie, just put one vocal track on every song.
But I love it.
Yeah, me too. It's definitely good. Yeah.
Bis ins Gehirn. Zick-Zack, schneid es ab.
Cool.
Zick-Zack, kurz und knapp.
Yeah, now I have TikTok stuck in my head instead of Zick.
That's what I'm wondering. Are they doing like another version of like they're making for the TikTok stars? Zick, Zack. He kind of looks like a young Ozzy.
Yeah. I mean, the video is funny as hell. I love the video. It's like they're always so creative.
Yeah.
That's what I love about them.
That's what I like too.
They try to do something great for the show. Like they try to present themselves.
Yeah, they put on a very good show. Get your money's worth.
Der Penis sieht jetzt wie der Sonne. Zick, zack, schneid das ab.
Zick, zack. Does that mean cut maybe in
Yeah,
German?
someone
Zick, zack?
Tick, tack, du wirst alt. Deine Zeit läuft langsam.
His face is melting.
His face is melting.
Muss auch leiden, aus und weg und
That's why I like that cut.
And it always has that type of vocal,
Yeah, that's why I
right?
like it. Because even though like he does the same vocal in the verse, which I wish he would do a melody every now and then, but then he saves it by bringing in this really catchy chorus, melodic chorus,
Yeah.
and I like that. I like when bands do that. I try to do that myself.
Because every song starts out the same, but then
Yeah.
it shifts into something.
And I don't think they've
cool.
ever done a song in English, right? Maybe that's what.
Well, that first song, Du hast, wasn't it?
I think that was mostly German too. I think even do the chorus.
It was a mix.
Yeah, it's probably
it was
a
kind of
mix.
like Spanglish or
Yeah.
something. German and English.
German English. Zick, zack.
Absaugen, das muss was bist du denn da absaugen?
All right, let's see if they bring it back with some good heavy shit. He's stapling his
Yeah,
face back
yeah.
on.
I think it was the part I saw when I was skimming through it.
Oh, so the drummer's now going to take over.
Yeah. So it sounds like a song that's about like, you know, running out of time with your looks and your, you know, with like TikTok. But
Vanity.
Yeah, that's why it's like TikTok, like the time's clicking away. The zigzag would be the drummer dude. He's like, fuck you, I'm going out there with my
The video's great.
Yeah.
alles ganz weg.
It's like Michael Jackson would be doing right now if he was still alive.
Yeah.
Schneid das ab. Tick, tack.
They always have that crunch.
Yeah. Yeah, they're still considered what, industrial metal, I guess. Industrial
Yeah.
part of the industrial movement.
Zeit ist nie bescheiden. Nadelfaden, Schere, Licht. Doch ohne Schmerzen geht es schöner.
All right. So yeah, them, I would say definitely a hit with that as far as metal goes.
Yeah.
I mean, again, they kind of always sound the same, but
Yeah,
you know,
they're better. Like I said, I got the new
love
album and I put it
Rammstein.
on, and there's parts of this album where I'm getting into it, but I'm thinking like, then after a while, just like, okay, I've heard that song already, and but it sounds like every song kind of sounds the same, but they're good at what they do. That's the thing about it, Rammstein. They're, you know, they're not the kind of band that they're like ACD, like you said, ACDC. It's gonna, where ACDC has the same drum beat, they're gonna have the same vocal thing going on.
they do it so well that it's just like it's worth repeating. You know,
It's just part of their hook, part of their stuff.
but actually, it's usually only their hit song that they put out. If you listen to their whole album, they do have different
Like I
stuff.
said, there's
Because they actually have some really cool.
I think the
music in
song
between.
Zeet or whatever, which was like the first video they came out with for this new album, that's a really nice song. It's really orchestral and piano sounding, and you know, it's like a ballad, I guess. He still kind of sings straightforward or whatever, but it sounds really cool in that song. And so there's a lot of different elements in their music that they got to put out.
So yeah, so I would say out of all the ones we listened to,
That's a hit.
that one, that's the best hit we're gonna get.
Yeah.
So again, newreleasesnow.com, dude, you need to work on your fucking what you think metal is, because that you know, I mean, I guess maybe they just go off of what the record label shoves it down their throat as, and they go, oh, we're metal, and you know, nowadays you got to put it in multiple sections just to kind of be available to everybody.
And for the record, I fucking hate campfires, man.
You end up smelling like smoke afterwards. It gets in your eyes, and you're all
Campfires,
fucking.
man. Fuck you, Ted Nugent.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I don't even leave my mother's basement. So how do you think I'm gonna go do a campfire and shit?
Yeah. You know why I hate campfires? I was homeless once. I had to freaking build a campfire every fucking night on the sidewalk.
You know, that's why I have this backdrop, is because all the people on TikTok always call the right wingers that are mad at us for our political views. They always say that we're living in our mother's basement. So I purposely bought this backdrop so they can see that I'm living in my mother's basement. So fuck you.
And I'm living in my kid's basement. Yes, I keep my kid in the basement.
Yeah.
Locked away.
Fuck you, motherfuckers. Fuck you, Ted Nugent. Your stupid ass. Go be in Texas and
Ted
shit.
Nugent.
Why wasn't Ted Nugent there to stop the gunman? If he's so
Mr.
fucking
Wango
tough.
Tango.
Stupid ass. I don't even know what that was. The hit song
Yeah,
Wango
it was one of
Tango.
his songs, and then
I can't even remember any of his songs right now. If I heard it, I would know.
Scratch that beaver. I mean, cat scratch.
Oh yeah, cat scratch. Yeah,
scratch that beaver. Da, 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 da.
Wasn't there a song about him sleeping with like a 16-year-old or something? Like,
well, I guess the whole thing was. I think he married like his. I think he adopted a girl that was underage just so he could marry her. So I forgot what the story was behind it. But
really?
Yeah, from what I understand.
I've never heard that. But
you remember, like Courtney Love on Howard Stern, she admitted that she sucked his dick when she was only like 13, like backstage.
Oh,
it's weird because in one interview she said that, and then a couple of years later when she told the same story to Howard, she said she was like 17 or something. But I don't know, like either way, she was.
Like there's a difference.
She got backstage and she gave him a blowjob, and she was only like 13.
I mean, when Courtney Love was 13 back in like 1800s, I'm sure it wasn't frowned upon as much, but whew. So that was our segment, Hit or Miss. Do you guys agree with us? Were we right on?
Halestorm
I'll put a list of all the bands down in the comments section in the description, so that way you guys can kind of look at them if you want.
Did we hit or miss on the target when it came to Halestorm or Motor Sister? Yeah, like I said, they're good. They're good bands. I just
actually, if you guys disagree with us, then get the fuck out of here. Don't even listen to our show. Because no, I'm just. I don't want to put anybody down, but I will.
For the record,
I will put people down because that's what I do. I don't give a shit. So hit or miss, one hit, 25,000 misses.
Yeah.
We'll do that again next month or something when some new releases come out. We'll check out some new stuff.
I'm going to do a top 10 eventually of 2022 releases that I've gotten so far. Mid-year, maybe, top 10. It's going to be hard because there's so many good albums that just came out.
See, now, why don't you do like music reviews or something like that? Because you're way more into music than I. Like, I love music, but I'm not into like the nitty-gritty details like you are.
I want to. It's just sometimes it's hard to like convey with my speaking because I don't talk as clear as most people. But yeah, it's like... I'd rather just say, here's my top 10.
You should be like the poor man's Eddie Trump.
Right.
Or the uneducated Eddie Trump.
The freaking, what's his name? J.D. Harmeyer. The mumble mouth. Yeah. I'd rather say.
We know everything, but we forget it before we get on air. Those are our credentials, man. So let me tell you something, Eric. Are you going to go watch the new movie by Tom Cruise, Top Gun? Is that something on your agenda?
No, I sat through the trailer. It was like 5 minutes long when I went to go see Doctor Strange. It was like they showed the Top Gun trailer, and they actually showed practically the whole movie. I swear to God, it was a 5-minute trailer.
That's as good as it's going to get.
I was thinking how it's fucking okay. So he kept going. I thought, this is cool. They showed like the whole 5 minutes. It's like... Never seen a trailer that long before, unless they're going to say like, we're going to show you the first 5 minutes of the movie, but they didn't do that. They showed it was a trailer. It was like all different clips.
But it's going to be horrible, right? Even if I did like Tom Cruise, even if I could watch a Tom Cruise movie, which I cannot do anymore.
I don't think I've even seen the very original Top Gun. It was just one of those movies that everyone knows and likes. And
I saw it a couple times when we were kids, when it came out. I do remember seeing it.
It was just never a movie that I really got into.
But because Tom Cruise is in it, I can never watch another Tom Cruise movie because of his stupid, nutty religious bullshit with Scientology. And let me tell you one of the reasons why I hate Tom Cruise. Not just because he's in Scientology, of course, because he is, and Scientology is the stupidest cult on the planet. About 10 years ago, Tom Cruise went on the radio. Somebody interviewed him about mental illness. Now, obviously, you and our mother was mentally ill. She had schizophrenia. Growing up around mental illness, when you hear somebody like Tom Cruise say, well, you can overcome mental illness if you just take the right vitamins and you do the right therapy, not mental therapy. He was talking about fucking Scientology nut job therapy.
Clear.
He actually thought that if you were healthy and you did exercise, you can overcome mental illness. He said that. Look it up. Look it up on whatever fucking place you can look it up.
Wasn't it Brooke Shields or somebody that kind of came on and rebutted him or tried to or something? Or
I don't remember the exact because it was a long time ago, but that just stuck in my head when he said that if you took the right vitamins and you were healthy, you could overcome mental illness. Now, obviously, that's what Scientology preaches. Scientology preaches that you don't need to see a real doctor. You don't need to see you which is funny because fucking what's his name, L. Ron Hubbard died of some that he could probably could have been cured of if he would have went to the fucking doctor.
Yeah, just read the book.
But yeah, so I can never watch even though I love Interview with the Vampire, I love a lot of movies that he was in. I do like him as an actor in certain movies. A lot of them he plays the same stupid character, like a fucking
like
dipshit.
Mission Impossible is like the same kind of character. Jack Reacher.
Yeah, it's the same fucking stupid shit. But there was a few movies that I liked, but I can't watch it anymore. I refuse to watch him in any movie, especially if it comes on TV, because you're supporting him by watching it and giving it ratings. I'll immediately change the channel.
Wonder if it's Scientology that keeps him young looking, though, you think, or no? Because he still looks the same.
No, that's just genetics. I mean, yeah. Well, I mean,
he would say
they keep him.
He would say that's the
they
reason.
keep him young looking by surrounding him by Scientology virgins and shit, and letting them or male.
Maybe it's
virgins.
the vitamins in the therapy keeping him young. Yeah.
Yeah.
All that therapy.
Because isn't he supposedly gay? Like, isn't that like a big rumor
Well,
that he's actually gay?
I think you're thinking of John Travolta.
John Travolta.
They're always trying to call him out.
like, but I think Tom Cruise was as well
Probably.
too. But who knows? Maybe they do that when you go against the church. They end up calling you gay or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I always say to that, I say, well, if he's gay and he's got a right to keep it to himself. And but then when the tabloids go at it, like, we got to find out if he's gay or not. Like, if he wants you to know, he'll let you know. You don't call him out like that. It's like,
well, if you ever watch that special by Leah Remini,
I think I've seen parts of it
about fighting Scientology and shit. That is I watched the first season. I never got to season 2 or 3, but the first season of that is so damn amazing. If you haven't seen that, go watch it, and you'll stand outside Scientology and start picketing. And weren't you a member of Scientology, Eric, like back in the 90s?
Well, there was a time that when me and Tony were living in our car and we were trying to find a job, and then we saw an ad for artists wanted. We're thinking, hey, we're artists, we draw and stuff like that. And so we go in and we walked there, whatever, from my car, got kind of a little bit dressed up to where we can, look presentable for a job interview, because we thought we were going on a job interview. Like I said, the way the ad sounded just said artists needed for this particular, it didn't really, I can't remember exactly what it was, what they needed the artists for, but it didn't say anything about Scientology or nothing. So we go to around Franklin Avenue, and that's where I guess where the big Scientology house is, but we didn't know at the time. We get there, this big old freaking like mansion, and then we go to the back of the gate, that they let us in, and there's all these tents set up everywhere, and people like just kind of look like a little.
Was there an American campfire?
Probably an American campfire. It looked like a bunch of little seminars going on, or book sales or something, or kind of looked like a little mini flea market going on in the back there. But and then some guy brought us to this one little tent with this room, and he had us sit in a chair and watch this movie. So before we talk about what we need you for, we want you to watch this presentation. So we're watching it, and in the movie we see the actor from Every Which Way But Loose. I can't remember his name. I think his last name's Conway or something, but he was like the second lead actor in the Every Which Way But Loose with Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, I think I know.
Yeah, he's one of those guys you always see him in movies, but never knew his name.
You never know who he is.
So he's in it. Where me and Tony recognized him. We're like, oh, that's kind of cool. But it was one of those dramatizations, like this guy's having a bad day, and all of a sudden he discovers like something that makes him,
he's got hair on his armpits, and he's becoming a man. And
so we finally sit down with this guy, I guess our rep or whatever, that we're talking about this artist needed, and he's going to explaining everything, and he finally kind of reveals it. So what we are, we're Scientology, and we're Scientologists, and
so how many hours did you have to sit there before you got to the Scientology? Did they feed you?
No, they didn't feed us. It was probably about maybe 40 minutes, because right after the film was done, we went and talked to somebody, and basically it was making it sound like we had to live on the campus, like we don't just come to work every day. We have to actually live there, and we're talking about. We're like, really? It's like, what about like our band? Because we have a band, and that's why we moved up here. And he's all, oh, well, you really won't have time for that, because you'll be just doing this and that, and you'll find more fulfillment in the things that we do here, and just trying to sell us on it. And then he's like, well, what kind of music?
Damn, he wasn't a good salesman. It wouldn't have been better to trick you and say, yeah, bring all your gear, dude. You could play every week in the hall. What he did. Like,
so what kind of music are you into? And we told him, metal and gothic and this and that. And he's like, oh, well, did you know Billy Sheehan? He's a Scientologist. And we're like, and he's like, even showed us like a little article of Billy Sheehan, like talking about it and stuff. And we're like, oh, really? Like, we're okay, that's cool. But we just got up and left. It's like, oh, sorry, this ain't for us. We thought this was a different kind of job. We thought we needed us to be like artists to draw for your publication or something, because we're both artists. We told them that, But we just got up and left, and fortunately they let us leave.
They let you, right? They didn't try to stop you.
We just couldn't. We couldn't believe it. Like it was like, what the fuck are you, Billy Sheehan? Like, like just because he's a rocker, you know.
But that's a horrible sales pitch. I mean, there's plenty of ways to trick people and be like, hey, dude, yeah, bring your instruments. Come on down. Let's play. If you guys would have had a place to stay and been able to play your music, you would have joined for sure, man.
And I kind of think maybe he was telling us that after a while. Because I remember after he did mention, I think he did say something like, you know, they have a band there that, you know, we could. Maybe I could be wrong though, but yeah, I just remember him using Billy Sheehan to try to sell us.
But if that's their pitch, how do they get like actors like Tom Cruise and what's the guy Danny Matheson? You know, because I really love Danny Matheson as an actor, but you know he raped all those chicks and had to ruin fucking shows.
Well, if you go on Hollywood Boulevard, they have you take that personality test, and they sell it as like, hey, would you like to take a free personality test to see how you see where you're at?
Yeah, but every goddamn answer to the question is a horrible situation.
And it's a long one. And I've noticed, like, when I was searching for a job after moving to Portland, I had to look for a job at that time. And I remember, like, filling out applications on Target and stuff. And now they have that same exact questionnaire on all the applications. It's like, it's a person.
Really?
Yeah,
that's
it's like
funny.
most of the questions.
Like, that's their test to see if you're competent.
Yeah, and it's like there's questions that, like, I was just applying for the warehouse position. I'm not, they're asking me questions that have nothing to do with, like, working alone, like, what the fuck,
Well, they probably realize that style of brainwashing is a good way to figure out if somebody's a good person or not, and whether you want them in your cult, which is Target or McDonald's or corporation.
When I was in jail, I didn't have much to read, but there was a L. Ron Hubbard book, the Dianetics or whatever. They had that in jail, and I remember reading it, just kind of like thinking it was just entertainment for me. It was just like, oh, let me check it out, But I know the big thing is, there's a word clear. If you say the word clear, it's supposed to do something.
When you're mentally clear, when you get everything done. We used to do that when we would walk by and be all clear.
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 Me and Tony used to do that. We'd walk by the Scientology place, we'd be all clear, just to fuck with them.
Yeah. Because people would be dressed in these like little suits, like as if they were part of the army or something.
Then you find out later that L. Ron Hubbard was just a science fiction writer, and the whole thing was basic.
Yeah, I loved a few of his books. One of his book, Fear, was one of my favorite books.
And I like that movie.
He's a great writer.
Yeah, I like that movie that came out that was based on one of his old books that had John Travolta, but it was like it was a big flop in the box office. The one where he had like the weird forehead. I can't remember the name of the movie now, but he had like long hair. It was John Travolta. They're aliens or whatever. A really good movie. I thought it was really good, but it was one of those movies that just totally.
It's based off L. Ron Hubbard's life story.
Yeah, it was based off one of his old science fiction books, but Forbidden Planet or something like that. But I don't know. I thought it was a good movie, but everyone just totally dogged on it. It was like a big flop in the box office. Considered one of the.
Like, do you think that the people at the top of the chain of Scientology, do they actually believe? Like, do you think they're so nutty that they believe that Zion or whatever the hell is this alien is going to come? And like, I wonder if they really believe it, or if they're just like, no, we're just taking advantage of these motherfuckers.
Part of me thinks that, well, we're getting close to kind of almost discovering that there really is aliens out there. So maybe they were onto something this whole time. Maybe they were actually,
No, I don't.
But I look at Zuckerberg, man. I just think Zuckerberg's an alien, man. Like, he's just out of place no matter what photo you see him in.
Wait, I'm surprised you were in jail, Eric. What the hell is up with that? You're supposed to be a model citizen.
Yeah.
The fuck? You're on this show and you've been in jail. We don't want no criminals on here. What the fuck?
Even though I was in jail, I thought I was gonna be sober. Like, I'm gonna live sober life. I'm clean and sober, and I get out straight to the liquor store.
First day out, huh?
You have like a 60 days of sobriety. You're like, yeah. So I think back and I was like, no, I wasn't sober then. I was mentally sober, physically sober maybe, but not mentally.
The power of alcohol. You got to love it.
I was drinking Pruno in the jail too. Like, well, because there was a time when the Southsiders were making the Pruno, which is like the jailhouse alcohol or whatever.
Out of the toilet.
Yeah. All full of rotten fruit, basically. Like, I took one sip. I was like, no way. And they're drinking. They're like throwing up in the toilet and shit. I'm like, fucking, how are they having a good time? And they're just all thrown up.
That's what I find it funny that these motherfuckers can't get a job at McDonald's. Like the most basic of stuff, they can't work, but they can figure out how to make fucking alcohol out of rotten fruit.
I do have to hand it to
they're geniuses when it comes to that.
I do have to hand it to the Southsiders. They welcome me with open arms. Whereas like the three white guys that were in there, like total white supremacists, were just total assholes to me. It's like, so I'm hanging out with I'm hanging out with the Mexican gangbangers and having a good time with playing cards. They're piercing my freaking eyebrow and shit. I felt like I'm one of the homies.
Yeah, you were lucky that you could draw.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Once they found out I could draw, I was like, their best friend. Like, I'm drawing like SpongeBob for this big old huge gangbanger looking dude. Can you draw SpongeBob for my daughter? It's like, yeah, man. Waking me up at 2 a.m. to fucking draw. I'll give you coffee. Coffee with like the crack in it, or like gold, I guess you could say. So they would give me coffee and I'd draw, because I didn't have any commissary.
Eric living the hard life behind bars.
And I almost got boo-bopped. Boo-bop is when you disrespect one of them and they take you in the back and they hit you in the stomach 13 times and you can't fight back or whatever.
Wait, is that for respect or for no
for
respect?
actually if you disrespect. Because I accidentally took a toothbrush. I guess it was. I thought there's this thing called a kitty, and it's like a little bag that's full with like toothpaste and necessities or whatever.
Yeah.
Usually sometimes it's for a group of people to be able to use. But I took one, and I guess that one wasn't a kitty. It was actually some other homie or some other gangbangers thing. So my little companion, his name is Flacco. He took care of me in there. He watched my back. Yeah, Flacco. He was from a gang called Crazy Minded. I used to tease him like, minded is not a word, right? Crazy Minded. It's like, he's like, no, fuck you, man. Like, so he was gonna boo-bop me. He was actually. What do they call it? He was actually supposed to be the one to boo-bop me, from his leader. The leader told him to boo-bop me. Yeah. But I totally talked myself out of it. I was like, come on, man, we're best friends in here, man. Come on, I help you write letters to your girl that you're trying to get back. Because he couldn't. You can't take a punch 13 times in the stomach, Eric. Yeah, I totally talked myself out of that somehow. But
he could have just hit you soft, like No,
he's got to go by the code, So I was even friends with like some of the black people in there. Were like, oh, they're Bloods gang. I was like, I had this one that was bunking next to me, and like we were just having really good conversations every night. He was a really nice guy, but on the streets, he's freaking, he's a maniac.
I've had a few people that work for me. This one guy, he was the nicest guy in the world, but he comes into work one day and he got shot in the leg because he was in a gang thing. And I'm thinking, you guys shot? And it turns out he was some like fucking gang leader dude or something. And
one cool gangbanger that was in there, he was a Hispanic guy or Mexican dude or whatever. He had like a big old fucking Boffman on his back, and he couldn't speak English. He just always stood by himself and thinking, wow, there's a satanic gangbanger band or gangbang, gangbang or gang out there, satanic gang out there. It's like
because they're evil.
They all have different names. Like it was Raccoon, it was Flacco, and then Cartoon.
Flacco, that's a funny name. Flacco. You should make a cartoon based on Flacco.
He's a cool guy though.
Flacco the gangbanger. What's up, Flacco?
He was a cool guy. I even kept in touch with him for a little bit after we got out of jail and then I just lost contact.
Because he ended up dead on the streets, Eric. He's fucking dead. Your friend, he's
from
gone.
the AV, the Antelope Valley, which is all meth out there. Meth and desert rats.
Eric doing the time for the alcohol.
Well, some of the white guys were like, you're not supposed to be talking to them. Telling me I'm not supposed to be hanging out with the Mexicans or whatever. And I go, you guys are boring. Because I'm not gonna hang out with you guys, man.
Wait, there's 3 of you, and there's like fucking 100,000 of them. I think I'm going to be on their side, motherfucker. Go ahead.
In my dorm, there was about 50 Mexicans, 50 black guys, 3 white guys, and 1 Asian dude that was there just for a DUI. And he was like totally looking a lot. Oh yeah, and then there was like the Paisas, which are like the Mexicans that are more like the Spanish-speaking border brothers, and they were kind of cool. They reminded me of like the Ewoks because they would all gather and they would have their little church thing at their little sermons before bed every night. But they were like little Ewoks because they were short and they seemed like they were more in tune with what was going on than anybody because it's like, you don't fuck with them. They always say you don't fuck with the Paisas, man. They don't look dangerous, but they'll fuck you over, man. It's like Paisas.
That's crazy.
Gotta love my jail life.
Eric the prison man.
I'm fucking.
You're going to have to play some prison
fucking hard,
songs,
man.
Eric,
I know. Where's my guitar? Fucking this stuff should have brought it in.
Living on the chain gang.
On the chain gang.
Yeah. Sitting around the campfire, the American chain gang campfire.
Nothing like a Southside spread. Now, I would take a Southside spread over the American campfire any day. That's where you hang out with the Southsiders and you eat those.
Put all the food
ramen noodles
together in one pot.
They put freaking chips and pickles and all that shit into top ramen and soak it in a bag.
The most unsanitary. I mean, I guess you'll fight off any COVID with that.
It looked gross as hell, but after I ate it,
that's got to be the most unsanitary.
It looked gross as hell, but after I ate it, I was like, damn, this is actually damn good.
Making shit out of toilet water and all kinds of stuff. Fucking resourceful motherfuckers. That's for sure. Prison teaches you to be resourceful, but not in the business.
A little leprechaun. I remember him. He was a little short little guy from Guatemala. And he's the one that pierced my eyebrow for me. He was going to pierce my tongue, and I got up the balls. He was going to pierce my tongue, and I got up the balls to have him do that. No, he was going to do my lip. and I just got up the balls to do it, but then I got released. I was like, Erik, you're going home. I was like, oh, shit.
Sorry, dude. I'm out of here. Oh, man, I was going to get everything pierced, but too bad I got to go.
Like 4 feet tall. He's like fucking standing on a little stool just to pierce my freaking my eyebrow and shit.
Yeah, I was gonna get my penis pierced, but you know,
I've been in a little longer.
Sorry, I gotta go.
See ya.
So the funniest thing I've been watching, I don't know, maybe I can show you this shit. Let me see if it comes up, because the funniest shit I saw while watching this tragedy, there was a good laugh, and I signed up for it. Let me see if you've seen this, Erik. Now, while I'm watching CNN, I'm watching all the tragedy, and then this shit comes on.
You need a miracle. Real people with real needs are receiving real life-changing miracles when they use the Miracle Spring Water.
I got Miracle Spring Water, and it changed my whole life. I got a job. I got my own apartment. I'm doing very good.
Unexpected money account. June, $10,600. I'm getting $700.
Miracle Spring Water.
Is this a real commercial?
I got a new job.
Yes, it's a real commercial. It came on CNN.
I've been financially blessed with $52,000. $30,000, $20,000.
Dude, we got to order some of that.
Blessed with 2 jobs.
Do it on the show.
And I'm just happy that
I did already.
Cool.
Because I was lost out there, and I just praise God.
I'm Reverend Peter Popoff, and I want to send you a faith tool that will help you to see miracle debt cancellation. If you need to see your debts obliterated, wiped
How much did it
out,
cost?
cancel, supernaturally, this faith tool will help you to see
Can you get it on Amazon?
from the bondage of
Well, I looked it up because you go to that peterpopoff.org. And I thought maybe it was something you had to pay for. That's why I was kind of pissed when I saw it. I was like, what the fuck is this taking advantage of these people's tragedy? And then you see this commercial from Miracle Spring Water that's going to cure all your money problems and shit. But it's actually, supposedly it's free. So I put in my address, I put in everything, and I signed up for it.
Spammed like crazy.
I know. I'm going to regret it, but I want it. I want to see that fucking, I want to hold it. It even says on the website, do not drink the Miracle Spring Water.
It actually says you can't drink it, then what's the point of it?
Yes, it says. I don't know.
At least tell me something I'm going to fucking be able to use.
$750,000 out of debt.
$750,000 worth of debt canceled. Amen. Supernatural debt cancellation.
So yeah, I'm gonna check out some Miracle Spring Water from Popoff.
I want you to try it on the air and tell us if it makes your life any better or anything.
Fucking religious people, man. They always take advantage of they're worse than the gun people. The religious people are worse than the gun people. That's for sure.
That's the grift. That's the Donald Trump shit right there.
The fact that they ran that commercial on CNN during the tragedy, that's like in poor taste, man. The fact that, oh, I'm going to get Miracle Spring Water and my life is going to be better. And I mean, I guess since you don't have to pay for it, I guess
it's weird because it doesn't look like a commercial like SNL would do or something. like,
yeah,
like a skit,
it's still from the 80s or what? It's probably using the same fucking commercial from the 80s. They haven't updated their equipment. Order me some
to see if it'll pay my rent.
Yeah, you never know. Hey, if I all of a sudden I come into a lot of money, then we'll know. If this show blows up because of Miracle Spring Water, then I'll tell you what, I'll believe in God.
Yeah, can't wait.
It wouldn't be because of our hard work. That's for sure.
Yeah, what are you going to buy with all your fortune? Can't wait.
Wow. Yeah. A fortune just for getting spring water? You know it's not spring water. You know it's tap water. Come on. That's why you can't drink it, because it goes bad. Like, what are they putting in that water that you can't drink it? That's what I want to know.
Right there, man. That's the grift.
Somebody's in the back jerking off, and his Miracle Spring Water is bringing unborn babies to life and shit.
Yeah.
That's what that shit is. So yeah, out of all tragedies, Erik, comes a great miracle. The Miracle Spring Water from Popoff.
I wish they would have had that spring water before it happened.
They should have sprinkled it all over Texas.
Every school should have that spring water in it.
Yeah, you don't need a teacher with guns. You just need some spring water.
On the show, if everyone donates to us, we will buy spring water for this Miracle Spring Water for every school across the nation. so please. Click, subscribe.
Sign up for our email account and give us your email and your name and address, and I will personally sign you up
Our
for that.
Our PayPal is griftyou@paypal.com. That's kidding.
They wanted my phone number, but I didn't put that in there. I just put my address because I don't want them fucking calling me. So I knew that would be a nightmare.
As long as you didn't put your credit card information in, you're good. Because usually sometimes they'll say it was free, but then you actually sign up for some kind of monthly thing where they send you and then they charge you a card. That's what those one pills or whatever, the testosterone pills. It's like free bottle, but then you're charged $80 in the next month.
That's how they get you.
It's like hell to cancel because they'll be like trying to talk to you. Well, if you just keep them and then we'll charge you half, and then like, no, cancel that shit.
Hell yeah. All right, everybody, that is our show. Yeah. Make sure you follow us on social media. Make sure you share us with your friends, or Flacko is going to come get your ass. We're going to give him your address.
The crazy-minded gang.
Yeah, Flacco's coming for you. He's going to light a campfire in your backyard.
Watch this and think I got some kind of gang ties and shit.
Yeah, you do, Eric. Where's your tattoo? Your gang
injunction. It's like,
All right, everybody. We hope you enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments. Let us know how you feel about us. If you hate us, you love us.
Yeah, or if you're just neutral, we take neutral.
Stay safe out there. Make sure you protect yourself with a bulletproof vest wherever you go.
And don't drink and drive.
Thanks for listening. We will... Yeah, don't
drink and drive.
Don't drink and drive. What the fuck's that got to do with anything, Eric?
Because I'm an alcohol and drug counselor. That's my message for everyone.
People are getting shot and you're worried about drinkers? God damn it.
And if you do drink and drive, give me a call at 971. That's good. If you get a DUI, I'm your guy.
You get a DUI, I'm your guy.
Sound good, but
I will teach you to get past it and start drinking
I'm like
again.
Saul Goodman of Saul Goodman of alcohol and drug counselors.
All right, we will talk to you guys next week.
Horns up, peace out.